it's just starting to print the buttons. There's 7 of these buttons. Right, boost there. have just raised the Z probe up even higher for this print. The skirts on there look a bit narrower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. So there's 7 of these buttons, one for each of the control buttons on the LVDS. I'm going to put it on the time lapse just now for a bit. So 31 minutes into this print. This is like what I'm going to call a base. Then there's a bit of a narrower shaft above these that goes into the hole. So this base part presses on the button, and because of the width of this, it will allow a bit of flexibility if the buttons aren't exactly in line. And what I found out on my very first iteration of the LVDS Controller Box is that the buttons didn't even stick out. So this is a bit like an extension button in a way, I suppose. This is, at the moment, it's the same design of button as I have on my LCD 12864. I'll show you that. So it's the same type of button here that is on the reset. This is my adjustable stand design LCD 12864 in there. Anyway, while we're looking at this, we can see the time, 32 minutes. Just over halfway. Looking a bit stringy there on top of those, some of those buttons. I have retraction set to 4mm at 40mm per second. That's quite high for an E3D version 6. Mine is a clone. Okay, I'm going to pause this camera and I'll come back a bit later, I think. Well, yeah. There we are, it's finished. 41 minutes and one piece did come off, this piece here. Quite a bit like stringing on some of them. Which I think will come off quite easy. Coming off the bed, not too bad. There's the skirts, a bit of those which fell off. Okay, I'll have to try these actually in the LVDS Control Box. Probably have to be filed off and tidied up a bit first. This is a back plate. About a 3.5 hour print, give or take a bit. Let's get this, I think a bit of ooze there. Oh, I have raised the nozzle even a little bit higher. Still making a wide layer, wider than what I'm used to anyway, so I don't know if that's a filament. A little bit better on the right there. One reason it might print quite faint is because the nozzle is too close, and then if the nozzle is too close the filament can't ooze out. And sometimes that causes it to build up and then it scrapes against that when it does eventually ooze out, so to speak. Quite wide there. This is a skirt. I'm going to put this on the time lapse, I think. Oops, sorry, just catching my big LED lights. So It's about a 3-hour print, 3.5 hours, something like that for this backplate. There has been some adjustments, mainly to do with the gaps in the bottom for the wires and ventilation made those a bit bigger. Adjusted some of the holes on it a little bit. Okay, I'm going to put it onto time lapse just now. Well, there we are, finished, and that says 3 hours 24 minutes, so 3.5 hours I might as well call that. This does look better than the previous model, especially these. Not sure how well you can see them, these like warning signs. I suppose I've text underneath this. Again, this is very like rough on the surface, like lines and a few odd strings. So here's a sort of main control circuit, aerial, USB port, audio jacks, and another jack, I can't remember what the other one is, RCA, HDMI, VGA, power supply in. That goes on this way. These holes probably want drilling out a little bit to allow this, especially that middle one, I think it's just catching on here. Apart from that, look pretty well aligned. I'll tidy these up and then I'll come back. Right, what I've used to make the holes a little bit bigger is, this is what is known as a tapered reamer. Quite an old one. These are for metal, thin metal, that if you have a smaller hole you can make it bigger. Actually these can be very useful because it's hard to drill a big hole, biggish hole. This goes to 1/2 inch, it's old in Peville. Very old, as you can see, Radio Shack. 1/8 to 1/2 inch. If you try to drill a big hole in thin metal, it's just going to buckle the metal, so you can drill a small hole and make it bigger with one of these. And that's what I've been using to remount, particularly this sort of second hole along, I think it was, that was causing it to catch on a bit small, so I'll have to probably redesign the print a bit for that one. Have I got this the right way around? Yes, I have. There we are. You see the buttons, well, not buttons, the connectors stick out as they should. Gaps found, USB and the HDMI, etc. This power plug over here on the left might need a bit of a bigger hole done as well. As I say, I've made these bigger. Let's put this actually into, I'll pop this in and we'll see how well it fits. Before I do that, I'll just show you, these are the like buttons, and these are far too tall, also that even if I press on these, try and keep more in, the buttons in the way only come to the surface, so the shafts on these sort of button pushers need making it longer, and these need making it lower on this main body part, because it's too big really on that side. So there we are. This probably does need something to stop it sliding further in than what it is now. Let me put this on here. Yep, and that fits very well, I think. See, these gaps are made bigger for the cables, any cables come out. One problem with this box, well, as anything like this I think, is that the cables tend to be very short that go to the backlight and to the monitor, so that might be a bit awkward. Okay, so those buttons need doing. Possibly, yeah, I think this, yeah, if I look at that hole there, that hole that's on, that'll probably need lining up a little bit better as well. Apart from that, pretty good. See the warning signs there. That it was supposed to have text underneath, but my printer hasn't been able to do it. 0.4 nozzle I was using, so that might be the issue there. As I say, this is not exactly smooth. There's like lines on here of filament. You can see them. Yeah. Apart from those possibly minor tweaks, not too bad. The buttons need doing. See, they're falling in because it hasn't got the actual thing on inside. Okay.